Well, good evening once again. Day 140 of the Biden administration. The president just hours away now from wheels up on an 8-day overseas trip, his first international travel as president. First stop, the United Kingdom. Joe Biden is on a mission to shore up some damaged alliances and confront one of our most powerful adversaries. However, here at home and on the eve of his travels, his domestic agenda has entered a new uncertain phase. Late today, Biden broke off talks with Republican West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito for a bipartisan infrastructure and jobs bill. This came after weeks of on and off talks, and the West Virginia senator says the sticking point was taxes.
The last offer that I got from the president had 4 tax increases in it. We were in it to win it for the American people. We've missed a real opportunity here for at least 20 Republicans to join with the other Democrats to pass the most robust infrastructure package that we could have.
Late today, the White House issued a statement that noted Biden told Senator Capito, quote, "The latest offer from her group did not, in his view, meet the essential needs of our country." White House goes on to say Biden's now talking to a bipartisan group in the Senate, Democrats Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin, Republican Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, and that he plans to be in touch with them by phone while in Europe. Statement also says Biden told Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to get ready to bring some of his economic plans to the floor for possible votes in July.
We all know as a caucus, we will not be able to do all the things that the country needs in a bipartisan way. And so at the same time, we are pursuing the pursuit of reconciliation.
Translation there, be prepared to see some party line votes to pass some, at least, of Biden's agenda. That won't help the pending voting rights legislation. Today, the man in the news, Democrat Joe Manchin, whose opposition means the bill is effectively going nowhere, met with some of the civil rights leaders who argue passage of this legislation is crucial. Manchin's position appears to be unchanged.
What we had was we had a respectful, we had a very informative, and it was a very good conversation that we had, and as a starting of a good relationship. It really was.
And it turns out bipartisanship in the Senate may not be on full life support just yet. Tonight, the chamber did approve $250 billion proposal to counter China's growing economic and military power. Senators from both sides of the aisle were also behind a new completed investigation into the January 6th Capitol attack. But as we show you some of the reporting from our Capitol Hill correspondent Garrett Haake tonight, you'll see that the results raise more questions, like why not call it an insurrection when the riot was aimed at overturning our election result?
Tonight, a damning new Senate report blames widespread intelligence and security failures and an ill-prepared police force for the January 6th attack. The report finds that despite online calls for violence, neither the DHS nor the FBI ever issued a threat assessment. The Capitol Police's own intel unit was aware of threats of violence, but failed to adequately communicate them.
We need some reinforcements up here now.
Officers left to defend the complex without riot gear or clear orders. One saying a lieutenant repeatedly asked over the radio, "Does anybody have a plan?" Sergeant Aquilino Gonell just returned to active duty after recovering from injuries sustained that day.
The crowd, they wouldn't listen to anything the police was saying at all. And they can continue to say, we are here because our President Trump sent us here.
Mr. Trump's role in the attack was not examined in the report, reigniting the debate over a bipartisan commission to investigate further.
The joint report has strengthened the argument for an independent commission.
Today's report is one of the many reasons I'm confident in the ability of existing investigations to uncover all actionable facts.
Let's start with this. This was Congresswoman Jayapal on this network earlier tonight.
There was not a single Republican vote for the American Rescue Plan. There was not a single Republican vote. Well, there weren't enough Republican votes for the January 6th commission. This is a party that's not interested in delivering for the people. So we should just move ahead right now, get the budget resolutions going, and do a budget reconciliation bill. Big, bold, and fast.
So, Phil, it's obvious to you, spending time in Washington, a lot of Democrats want Democrats to act like Democrats. Can Biden operate this way, and can he win this way?
Well, look, Brian, President Biden has invested much of this spring in trying to find a bipartisan deal on this infrastructure package, week after week of negotiation with Senator Capito and other Republican senators in hopes of bringing the two parties together. But a lot of Democrats on the left, including Congresswoman Jayapal, and she is not alone, have felt this was something that was never going to bear any fruit, that it was a waste of time and a waste of political capital for this White House. They wanted to see the White House move very quickly to pass this infrastructure package through reconciliation, which effectively means that it would only require 50 votes plus one in the Senate, which they could do on an entirely party line Democratic vote. That appears to be what Senator Schumer, the Democratic majority leader, is preparing at this hour to at least move part of this package through in that manner. But nonetheless, Biden is continuing some talks with that trio, Manchin, Sinema, and Cassidy, that you mentioned at the top of the show. We'll see if that gets anywhere. But frustration clearly on the left as progressive Democrats want to see some of this become law and feel like the clock is ticking and time is wasting here.
General, over to you. If that on 1/6 wasn't an insurrection, it'll do till the insurrection gets here, as they say. That was a violent mob attempt to overturn the results of a presidential election. Speaker Pelosi chose you to conduct the after-action security review, and I'm curious what you make of today's report. For that matter, what you make of any report that refuses to use the word insurrection.
Well, let's put it this way. I think, first of all, what this report affirmed is what we gave the House on the 5th of March, a reaffirmation that we need to get on with securing the Capitol with resources that are required for the Capitol Police, more training, more intelligence, more technology, and clean up the chain of command for the Capitol Police. And then what in the hell was the rest of government doing that day with the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, the Secret Service, where this mob came in their backyard and took over the most significant government building in our nation? What were they thinking? As far as them tailoring the language, this is to reaffirm why we need a commission. If we leave this to individual committees, the voices in that committee will be able to shape the report, and we're going to end up slicing this piece, one piece at a time. It's not going to come out even, and we won't get the truth. We need the commission to get to the truth, and we hope those members in the Senate who have turned back on the commission after seeing this report will give them the courage to stand up to seek the truth, because we need the truth to come out. We need the truth to come out if our democracy is going to survive. Because it was an insurrection. It was an act of insurrection, and it needs to be dealt with.
Katie Benner, the general, as always, raises great issues and great questions. Let's talk about the part of this that you cover, the sprawling federal investigation. The numbers seem to go up every week. Where does that fit in all of this, and what's the status of it?
So to your point, the investigation is ongoing. And that is actually very important when we look at this report, because we see that the Justice Department did not fully cooperate with investigators. The Justice Department was not forthcoming with information. And part of the reason I think the department would always give is because there was an ongoing and active investigation, and it does not want to jeopardize it in any way. That said, this is going to become extremely frustrating for Democrats if we see the Justice Department under Attorney General Garland continue to block information that investigators are seeking about the attack on the Capitol, about the events leading up to it, about the White House's attempt to co-opt the Justice Department into things like conspiracy theories and election investigations, and then whether or not the president's influence, the fears of the president, actually impacted the national security response. The Justice Department holds really critical information, and we've yet to see whether or not it will actually give that to investigators.